Hello and welcome to pmblounge.com. Today we are looking into a trivia of sorts where we take a look into certain things and try to figure out where do they go? Do they go into the requirements document or do they go into the project scope statement? Now we have discussed both. We have discussed the requirements documentation. We have discussed how to collect requirements. We have discussed everything around requirements. We have also discussed project scope statement, and there might be a certain confusion on which thing goes where. What is the difference between requirements document and the project scope statement? Well, we have discussed this earlier. Today we are just looking into certain examples so that it's clear for you to understand where a certain thing goes, whether it goes into the requirements document or it goes into the project scope statement. And when I discuss it, it'll be more clear on what I am talking about. Of course, as always, the previous videos, the entire playlist will be in the description for scope statement, for the entire define scope process, as well as the entire collect requirements process as well. So you can check those videos out to refresh your memory on what requirements are, what requirements documentation is, what is scope statement, what is the defined scope process, and stuff like that. So feel free to go down into the description, check out those playlists, and have a better idea of what we are talking about here. Now let's get into it. Let's try to figure out where do these things go. A description of how to create a WBS, or the work big breakdown structure. Where do you think? Do you think it goes into the requirements document or it goes into the project scope statement? Description of how to create a WBS. It goes into the project scope statement because this is about work. This is how you are planning to achieve something. This is not about, a certain thing which needs to be done in the project without the details of how it will be done, right? If it is about the how, it has to go into the project scope statement. Let's look into another example. How the website will be tested before going live. Again, this falls into the project scope statement. Whenever there is a how of a certain of how of how a certain thing will be achieved, that goes into the project scope statement. Details of the new sections to be added on the website. This is again something that goes into requirements document. This goes into requirements document. Again, you need to understand if there's a how related to a certain thing, right? How you plan to achieve something, that goes into project scope statement. But just, a list of what you want in your project, right? What you want in the product of your project, that goes into the requirements document. The work required to create the website graphics. Again, we are talking about the how here. How you are going to create the website graphics. What is the work required? That goes into the project scope statement. Login for administrators. Now, this is a new feature that we are talking about. We need a feature of login for administrators. Of course, this goes into the requirements document. Performance requirements for the website. Now, this will be a list of how you want your website to perform, right? How fast do you want it to load? Of course, this goes into the requirements document. We are not talking about how you are going to achieve and meet these performance goals, these performance requirements. We are not talking about that. We are just listing down what the performance requirements are, and that goes into the requirements document. A list of all the graphics required for the website goes into the requirements document because we are not talking about how you're going to create those graphics. If you observe the first question here, the first example that we took, the work required to create the website graphics, this went into the project scope statement because this was the actual work. This was how you're going to achieve and create those graphics. But a list of all the graphics required for the website, this is just a list. This doesn't talk about how you're going to create those graphics. This goes into the requirements document. So this is the key difference. This is the key difference that you should be aware of between the project scope statement and the requirements document. This is the key difference, because project scope statement talks about how you're going to achieve the work, while requirements documents simply talk about what you need, what is your requirement as part of this project. So I hope this video was helpful. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Check us out on our social media, facebook.com/pmplounge and twitter.com/pmplounge. You can send your queries to pmplounge@gmail.com, and obviously feel free to go and visit the website pmplounge.com, your number one free resource for PMP certification and project management industry information. Thank you.